Hello, everyone, and today we are going to start with the French Revolution and the idea of the nation. In this chapter, we will be understanding French Revolution, which took place in 1789, measures taken by French people in this regard. Then we are going to see another important topic, that is Civil Code of 1804. It is also known as Napoleonic Code. So let us first start with the French Revolution 1789. Okay, so revolution refers to something that has a drastic change in society. जब भी कोई चीज़ तेज़ी से चेंज होती है, बहुत बड़े लेवल पे चेंज होती है, उसको अपन रिवॉल्यूशन बोलते हैं. So French, when we say French Revolution, a revolution that has taken place in France, and in which year this has taken place? 1789. So in 1789, now French Revolution refers to the transfer of power from monarchy to common people. जो monarchy means king and queen which are ruling a particular territory. Whenever king and queen rule, we call it monarchy. There are basically different kind of form of government. In India, we have democracy form of government. In olden times, many places used to have king and queen ruling, so that used to be referred as monarchy system. Another one is dictatorship. You all might be knowing about Hitler. So Hitler was one good example of dictatorship. And in current time also we have North Korea. You might be aware that is referred as dictatorship. So moving forward with French Revolution, again I'm emphasizing this revolution took place in 1789, the one we are talking about. So what has happened at that time? People has chosen a particular group of people to rule them. The power was taken from monarchy. So that is the first definition that you will write. French Revolution led to the transfer of power from monarchy to a body of citizen. A group of people were given this power. Measures introduced by France, very important point. Why it is important? Because you might be asked a question in your exam that explain any three measures taken by France, or explain the first clear cut expression of nationalism, or steps taken by France to develop nationalism among the people. So when this kind of questions are asked, you will write what we are going to learn now. Okay, so measures introduced by France. What are the measures introduced by France? The first one is they tried to develop collective identity. Okay, now we have seen, when we have studied what is nation state, at that time we have seen collective identity. So in order to develop something that is common among the citizens, to connect them to one another, we need collective identity. Okay, like in when you talk about India, a person from Jammu Kashmir and a person from Kanyakumari has a common type. What is that? They both are Indian. So, as we all are Indian, we have a common identity among us. Same identity, there was a need to be developed between these French people. Why? Because at that time there were no nations. Then that is what we are understanding through first lesson of our history, that how nationalism came into being. So, in order to generate that, they have taken various measures. The idea of La Patria and Le Citoyen was developed. Okay, so what is La Patria? La Patria refers to fatherland. Now in India we call our country as motherland. So in France it was called as fatherland. Now Le Citoyen refers to the citizens. Okay, citizens were referred as Le Citoyen. A new French flag of tricolor was chosen. So flag was also chosen by them, because we need certain symbols to develop nationalism. In India, like tricolor, we have a symbol of Satyamev Jayate, right? Ashoka Istam, on that also you can see. So this kind of symbols, flags are used in order to develop nationalism, or you can say collective identity. The state general was elected by the active citizens. So state general, they are representative. In modern times, in India we call assembly. So like that, an assembly was selected by common people, of a group of people, those who are going to rule them. एक particular group को उन्होंने elect किया और बोला कि आप लोग अभी आप हमारे लिए decision लेने का काम करो. So a state general was elected by active citizen. Remember this point. New hymns were composed and oaths taken. Now hymns you all know, right? So when you sing something like prayer songs, you can say, or songs related to patriotism, that can be referred as hymns. So hymns were composed and oaths were taken. So why they might have taken oaths? They might have taken oaths for protection of their country, or to generate those kind of feelings. They have also introduced some different reforms as well. Like they have, for their martyrs, they have commemorated their martyrs, right? Paying respect to martyrs. Martyrs means शहीद लोगों को भी उन्होंने respect पे किया. So this kind of activities they were developing. A centralized administrative system was put in place. Now, what do you mean by centralized administrative system? So when you talk about France, other than France, there were different administration. ठीक है, जैसे in our country also we have SP office, collector office, and we have judicial system. Now all this administrative system might be working independently. They don't have to look into the working of each other. Municipality, they are working on their own. Now if this kind of working is there, it won't be right for a common person. So we need centralized system where all these activities are controlled by a center system. एक particular point से जहाँ पर से ये सब चीज़ें control होती है, that is called as centralized administrative system. एक ही जगह से पूरा administration जो है वो कंट्रोल हो रहा है और सभी जगह पे यूनिफॉर्म है. कहीं पर अपना कोई अलग है, दूसरी जगह पे कहीं अलग है, ऐसा नहीं है. सब जगह सेम एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम में एक जगह से कंट्रोल हो रहा है. कोई भी ऑफिसर अपना मनमानी नहीं कर सकता. वैसे टाइप का सेंट्रलाइज एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सिस्टम वॉज पुट इन प्लेस और अडॉप्टेड. Uniform laws were made. Now, if you talk about the then France, there was you might have studied in 9th standard also. There were many discrimination depending on from which class you are. There are some privileges given to you from your birth. All those things where their laws were not uniform. If you talk about ancient India, even in our country, we had different kind of laws. Even why ancient India? When you talk about medieval India, okay, when Britishers were there, you might have studied in your previous classes that laws were different. Hindus were having different law, Muslims were having different law, and it was actually British who has given us unified law system in our country. So in France also they have adopted uniform laws, all same laws for everyone. Custom duties and dues were abolished. Now custom duties refers to taxes that you are supposed to pay. Okay, in modern times also we pay many taxes. Like you have house tax, you have water tax, you have income tax, you have wealth tax. And whenever you purchase something, or if you are a businessman, you might be knowing when you purchase something and you bring it to your city, you are supposed to pay certain tax on it. When you purchase something from foreign, and when you come to our airport in India, when you land, you are supposed to show what you all have purchased, and at times you are supposed to pay certain tax on it as you are bringing those things in your country. So custom duties and dues were abolished. Abolished means removed. French was made official language. We have seen, languages play very important role in your future part of the lesson. You will understand this that how languages have also played a major role in developing nationalism. Let me give you a simple example again of our India to make you understand importance of language. In Maharashtra, which language is spoken? Right, Marathi. Similarly in Gujarat, Gujarati. Punjab, Punjabi. So each state is having their own language. Okay, so why state is having their own language? Because people living in that particular territory have adopted themselves to a particular language. It has become their custom and tradition. That's why they are supposed to continue it, because that is their unique identity. Okay, so similarly in France there were different languages. Okay, some variations were there in their languages. So they have unified it and they have made one common language, and that was French language, which was mostly spoken in Paris. That language was chosen as their official language. Okay, and language, flag, these hymns, these all are important for developing collective identity, because without collective identity people are not together. Let's say if in our country, if collective identity is not there as an Indian, so I will look only after Maharashtra because I am from Maharashtra, I am Maharashtrian. Someone from Rajasthan will look only for Rajasthan. So keeping this all thing aside, when we stand together for country, that is referred as nationalism. And in France at that time it was difficult to develop nationalism. So these were the steps taken by French people in order to develop nationalism. Are we clear with this? Okay. Now moving forward, this is another important part. Napoleon Code, Civil Code of 1804. So let me tell you, Napoleon Bonaparte was another dictator of universe. At that time, we had dictators. So Napoleon was one of the dictator. Now you have seen this representatives were chosen and they were given responsibility. Then what has happened is Napoleon was a military officer, you can say it, okay, in very simple language, and he took power. Actually it was Jacobin Club. Jacobin Club is another group of people who have participated in this process of developing nationalism and all those things. So at that time, what these people did is, this Napoleon did is, he took advantage of differences among themselves, those people, the group which was ruling. He took advantage of that situation and he took control of France. Now you might have studied this in lower classes. Those who have missed that part, I may not be sure. So that is the long story short, that Napoleon took advantage of situation and entire power he took in his hand. So basically what he did, now he has killed democracy. There were some people who took power in their hand, and this particular person, Napoleon, he has destroyed it. He has started with dictatorship. Now, though he has destroyed dictatorship, there were some good reforms introduced by him. Okay, though the Napoleon has destroyed democracy, he introduced some excellent reforms in administration which are known as Napoleonic Code or Civil Code of 1804. Now to make it very simple for you all, when powers were in hand of Napoleon, what he did, he has made certain changes in the working of government. Some changes were introduced by him, and those changes are referred as Civil Code of 1804, and they are also called as Napoleonic Code. Remember this point. Napoleonic Code is also called as Civil Code of 1804. Now, what were the changes introduced by Napoleon? This is very important. He established equality before law. As I said, different people were given different kind of punishment, different kind of rule for different kind of people. This is completely injustice. So what he did, he has established equality before law. Everyone will be treated equally, no matter how rich you are, how poor you are, to which class you belong, it doesn't matter. Everyone will be given equal treatment in front of the law. In India also we say equality before law. अगर एक अमीर आदमी किसी का मर्डर करता है और गरीब आदमी किसी का मर्डर करता है, दोनों को पनिशमेंट सेम है. ठीक है, दैट इज रेफर्ड एज इक्वालिटी बिफोर लॉ. Secured the right to property. Now right to property means what? Now long story short again, पहले ऐसा होता था, if you have given some military service to king, so what he used to do, he used to give you certain territory. Okay, now with that territory you used to get some labors, and you were allowed to collect tax on that particular land, piece of land. That is something that citizens' property is taken and given to someone else. Then inheritance was also there, like property moves from father to child. So in that also many different laws were there. Many times it was taken by the government. So he has secured the right to property. If it's your property, you are going to keep it. No one is going to take away that from you. And still, if you have not understood, please do not get into detail. Just understand that measures introduced by Napoleon. First point, equality before law. That is very clear. Right to property will be second point. Simplified administrative division. India also, when you look, we have hierarchy of administration. भाई सबसे lower rank पे काम करने वाले लोग, they might be reporting to someone, then that person might be reporting to someone. So hierarchy is made. So he has simplified that administration system also. In France at that time, administrative system was little complex. It wasn't that easy. So he has simplified the process. Now common people, see, look at all those things. These all things are required by common people, which are more in number. A common person will always want equality before law. Your rich is treated differently, and I being common, I am also working, but I don't have that kind of money, so I am not given proper justice. Then my property might be taken. I need security. Third point will be, administration should be simple. ये ऑफिस में चक्कर मारो, वहाँ चक्कर मारो, इसको मिलो, उसको मिलो, ये 3 काम करा के लो. इतना नहीं चाहिए. एक जगह जाओ, वहाँ आपका सब काम होना चाहिए. इसको बोलते simplified administrative division. So he has done that. Napoleon has done most of the things which were beneficial for the common man. Abolish the feudal system. Again, moving back to feudal system. So right to property, when I was explaining you, actually I have mixed feudal system also in that. So feudal system can be referred, there are different definition to it. The first one is generally it is said that when a person has given any service to the king, mostly military services, the king used to give certain territory to that person. Okay, that is one definition of it. Another one is क्या बहुत सी बारे राजा लोग ना अपने चमचे लोग को बहुत सारी ज़मीनें दे देते थे, तो वो कॉमन लोगों के लिए गलत है ना. वो जगह आप लोगों की भलाई के लिए यूज़ कर सकते हैं. इफ़ यू आर गिविंग इट टू पीपल, आपके चमचों को दे रहे हो, या पीपल हु आर बटरिंग यू, दैट इज़ नॉट द राइट थिंग टू डू. So feudal system can also be referred as misused by the kings or authoritative person and giving advantage to other people. That could also be referred as feudal system. So he has abolished that. No more feudal system is there. Okay, no keeping lots of property under one name, giving to someone. Nothing like that. Freed peasants for serfdom and manorial duties. Now, serfdoms, this word means that when a farmer is forced to do a laborious work, गुलाम बना के रखना, या फिर बंधुआ मजदूरी जिसको बोलते हैं अपन एक गाँवटी लैंग्वेज में. बंधुआ मजदूरी मीन्स आपके लिए कुछ लाख 2 लाख रुपए दे दिए गए, आप जीवन भर वो आदमी के लिए काम करो, वो भी एकदम मिनिमम वेजेस पे, आपको सिर्फ रहना खाना पीना दे दिया जाता है, बस काम करते रहो. दैट इज रेफर्ड एज सर्वडम, फोर्स लेबर. उनको एक बड़ा अमाउंट दे के उनसे फिर पीजेंट वाला काम कराते रहो. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सर्वडम. और एंड मेनोरियल मीन्स लोन इज गिवन टू देम, हेवी लोन इज गिवन टू देम, एंड अनलेस दे पे ऑफ दैट लोन दे आर गोइंग टू वर्क फॉर दैट पर्सन. 1 लाख रुपए दे दो उसको, अब तो मेरे लिए काम करेगा, और उसको पगार एकदम आधी से भी कम दो. ऐसा करके उनको अपना गुलाम बना लो. दैट इज नोन एज मेनोरियल ड्यूटीज, जो लोन दिए हुआ उसको. सो येस, फ्रीड प्रिजम फ्रॉम इट. अब किसने लोन लिया रहेगा, वापस देने की जरूरत नहीं, चलो निकलो, लैंड लॉस को हकल दिया वहाँ से, अब आप फ्री हो गए. तो isn't that good for peasants? So this kind of reforms were introduced by Napoleon. This last one, guild restrictions were removed. Now guild was a group of you can say merchants. Initially such association of merchants was banned. Okay. But when Napoleon got power, he has allowed them to form their organization. Now why guilds are required? See, अगर एक merchant है, मैं फ़िलहाल अगर मैं 1 लाख रुपए का माल बेच पा रहा हूँ और उससे ज़्यादा मेरी कैपेसिटी नहीं है, पर हम 3 मर्चेंट अगर साथ में आ गए तो हम 10 लाख का भी काम कर सकते, तो ये हमारे लिए फ़ायदेमंद है. बट पहले ऐसा रेस्ट्रिक्शन था कि आप लोग ग्रुप में काम नहीं कर सकते, आपको इंडिविजुअल काम करना है तो करो. तो अब ये गिल्ड रेस्ट्रिक्शन हटने से क्या हो गया कि हम 3 मर्चेंट साथ में आके ज़्यादा बिजनेस कर पा रहे. सो दैट वॉज अगेन अ गुड डिसीजन फॉर द डेवलपमेंट ऑफ सिटीजन. So these are few good things which were introduced by Napoleon. These good things, whatever he has introduced, are referred as Napoleon Code or Civil Code of 1804. Remember this point. What were the measures? Equality before law, right to property, simplified administrative division, abolition of feudal system, removal of serfdom and manorial duties, and guild restrictions were removed. ये 5 पॉइंट एटलीस्ट आपको इसमें से याद होने चाहिए. Oh, एक और एक है. Sorry, I missed it. Transport system was improvised. Yes, I forgot. Okay. Now another challenge. Last 2 points, if you look, they are mostly related to business and merchant. उसके पहले वाला peasant, that is poor class, and उसके ऊपर पे वाले आप देखोगे तो 4 भी common man के लिए. So when you talk about a transport system, it was required by mostly merchants because there were many restrictions in traveling from one place to another or sending goods from one place to another. So what Napoleon did, he has developed transport system. So because if you have good transport system, the businesses will be good, your country will be earning more amount of money, and it will lead to overall prosperity of the country. Transport plays very important role in development of country. When you study SST in detail, you will realize that transportation plays an important role not only in development of common people and moving from one place to another, but also in economy. So again, Napoleon has developed transport system as well. So these were the reforms introduced by Napoleon under Civil Code of 1804. Now, you might be thinking that though Napoleon is a dictator, but he is very good man. He has introduced many things. So yes, agreed to it. किए that time he has done, किया उन्होंने. But यही चीज़ फिर जो थी बाकी के यूरोपियन कंट्रीज में भी होने लगा. People in different parts of Europe, like German area which was there. There also people have started to realize that this is good things. Switzerland, Belgium if you talk, Holland if you talk. So yes, one more thing. An important point, you might be asked the places which were occupied by Napoleon. Okay, so you can write Holland, Belgium, Switzerland, France, Italy. These were the places under Napoleon's control at that time. Okay, so as revolution took place in France, and he has done some good administrative system, good administrative changes. So many other European areas were looking forward to those changes. They realized that these changes are good, and if Napoleon has control to their territory, these reforms will benefit them also. So many people, Jacobin clubs again were formed. Jacobin clubs, member of French Republican, we call them Jacobin. So many groups were formed in different European territories, and this French army, with the help of French army, revolution was started in those territories. And Napoleon used this situation to his advantage, and he conquered many places also. Okay, now people were looking forward to it. They were very happy that now we will be under Napoleon's control, so we will be having many benefits. But it wasn't that satisfying also. Why? That is important point. So this question might come in your exam. The new administrative system introduced by Napoleon didn't come hand in hand with political freedom. Explain. So here you are supposed to write three main points. Okay, you have to enlarge this point. I have written it in very short. There was increased taxation. Now increased taxation means with these changes, now if you government has to collect taxes. You might be wondering in India also why government is collecting so many taxes. So for day-to-day working of our country, money is required. Like police department, we have, it's a service provided to us. Their salary needs to be paid. We get many facilities from municipality, like your road cleaning. Every day it is done by workers. Those workers also need wages. So all this is collected in form of taxes from common people. So there was increased in taxation. That's why people were not happy. Censorship means not complete freedom. You might have heard this when we talk about media censorship many times in our day-to-day life in today's time. So censorship refers to when certain restrictions are placed to what you can do. Okay. So there was increased censorship as well. Forced conscription into the French armies. Now Napoleon wanted to acquire more and more territories, and in order to acquire more territories, you need more soldiers. So whichever place he used to conquer, he used to force people from those territories to join their army. Okay, mostly they were peasants working from in villages, as they used to be little bit of be physical fit, so they were forced to work for army. So that is referred as conscription. Forced conscription means enrollment of people in army by force into the French army was another reason why people were not happy. In your textbook on page number 7, if you look, you will find an portrait, okay, an image, and in that image you can see how this French soldier were misusing their power on the ground. So that's all for now. Please go through the video. If you have any doubt, please listen to it again, and if not, please raise your concerns to me. I will feel glad to address them. Thank you.